To love is nothing. To be loved is something. To love and be loved is everything. I am Dora, a member of the 23rd group of Microcampus. We're called the Wildfires. Since 2012, the Microcampus program had been taking groups of 8th graders to a beautiful place called Xizhou in the Yunnan province for 28 days. This was an excellent opportunity for us teenagers who are surrounded by the tall buildings and listen to the sounds of cars honking while growing up. We used this chance to get out of Shanghai bubbles and truly spent the days, hours, minutes, and seconds to learn about what the world is actually like. To see with our eyes, listen with our ears, and feel with our hearts. This is why we're here, and this is why I'm here, to learn about myself and to learn about love and marriage in Xizhou. In order to understand the perspectives of love and marriage in Xizhou, one might consider the viewpoint of the younger generations, the mind of the older generations, and my own thoughts that have emerged throughout this trip. First, the perspectives of the younger generation. The age of the younger generations range from 23 to 28 years old. When I asked what they define love as, the answer was revolved around the term responsibility. One also responded that love is a feeling or chemistry that can't be really described. If you see a couple on the street and they truly love each other, then as an impersonal observer, you would be able to tell the vibe between them. This was a unique response, and definitely something that made me start watching the people on the streets. Another point I focused on with the younger generation is gay marriage. Gay marriage in China is not legal, but to the younger generations, they accept it. Some also believe that it is not an issue here in Xizhou, because everyone is open about it and no one really judges. I was a bit surprised hearing this response, because I thought that since Xizhou is a small town, mindsets could be hard to change. Therefore, when I approached this question, I purposely asked what is the Xizhou perspective of gay marriage, instead of asking what they personally think, since this is a pretty sensitive topic. This was an extremely helpful tip recommended by Mr. T. The last element I consider with the younger generation are key factors in a relationship valued by them. Key factors in a relationship valued by the younger generation would be understanding, stabilization, and the expression of love. This tells me that people in Xizhou that are smaller in age would tend to focus on the duration of a relationship. I personally feel like these points are only at the surface, meaning they are at the fun mode, where there is pretty much little to no stress regarding to families at all, which is also the phase before a serious relationship that could be leading into marriage. In other words, you could say that this is the sweet and simple love that everybody craves once in a while. Next, the mind of the older generations and their own definition of love. The age of the older generations ranged from 50 to 63 years old. When the question about how they define love was thrown to them, some were shy or even embarrassed to reply. Some thought of love as hobbies, and in Mr. Zhao's case, it was making wooden caskets. Others said love means family or to form a family, and being there for each other in general. Love was described as warm and comforting. The second point I dialed in on with the older generation was gay marriage. Unlike the younger generation, the older people I had a conversation with believed that there was no such thing as gay people in Xizhou. If there is, they do not approve. To be honest, I am not totally surprised by this answer since they grew up in an environment where there was not as much people open to their sexuality. Although, it is interesting to watch how time can change the way people think. Someone might be growing up under a house with both parents not supporting gay marriage, but the child might end up being a supporter due to his or her own experiences in the future. The final element was key factors in a relationship and what they value. When I asked the elders what they value in a relationship with their spouse, the responses were also in contrast with the younger people. Many valued their family in a relationship with their husband or wife. One appreciated how his wife educated their children, and one man mentioned that he valued good health. This answer surprised me, because I thought that it is normal for elders to focus on their family, but before you live a happy life and watch your family extend, the most basic factor is good health. I felt inspired by this man's retort, since he was also the only one that was not embarrassed to say he met his wife by fate. Last but not least, the modification of my thoughts throughout this microcampus trip. In the beginning, I believed that love was just simply unconditional. It is something that everyone needs and wants to be a part of. In the middle of this process, I realized that my thinking was probably a bit too broad. I was not able to visualize anything when I thought of my own response. I had been contemplating about what I truly believe the answer is. It was through the 30 minutes of sacred family time every day from 8:30 to 9 that assisted me in finding my own definition. Being 2,000 kilometers away from the people I see every day and only listen to their voices on the other end of the phone instead. Somehow realizing that I should be wearing more clothes when I go outside because if mom was here, she would make me. Somehow eating a vegetable I absolutely hate because I know dad would encourage me to, but then he would finish it if I was persistent on not doing so. Somehow not buying as much ice cream because if my brother was here, he would not be able to eat it due to his lungs. From these small actions in my everyday life, I found out that love is not exactly something that can be described. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the answers of other people are incorrect. I'm trying to say that for me, love is in every corner. It is the people or things that you immediately think of when love is mentioned. You don't love someone for their looks, or their clothes, or their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear. After 28 days, I learned the attitudes of both the younger and the older generations towards love and marriage. I also discovered my own definition of love. In the end, I still believe unconditional is the right word to describe love if I really had to. But other than that, I just want to let love be a free word. A word that can make people smile wide or bring tears. A word that can transform a type of personality or change a mindset. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Luckily, I have a mom, a dad, and a brother.